The Astros took care of business against the Angels in Anaheim this weekend. Their first time sweeping them on the road since 2013, I think, if not 2015 or 17. It might be a little later than that. But we've got a lot of good things to talk about in this video. So a lot of good things, good historic milestones. The Astros reaching 5,000 franchise wins, which we'll discuss here shortly. And we're going to talk all about it and so much more coming up next. Stay tuned. How sweet it is. Man, it feels like it's been a while since I've been able to say that. But the Astros had swept a 3-game series from the L.A. Angels this weekend as they ended up scoring, I think, maybe 16 runs in total over 3 games. Let's talk about this series. First things first, let's dive into a couple of injury updates. Ben Gamel, he was removed from Saturday's game after he had made a running catch in the 4th inning. After doing so, he had sustained a left knee contusion, but manager Joe Espada says that it might not be super serious. Hopefully he can come back soon and we can get some depth in our outfield back. So next up, John Singleton. He was supposed to be in Sunday's game, but was scratched due to illness, and don't have much more information on that as far as if he'll be available for Monday's game. Just hope he feels better. So diving straight into the series itself, starting here in this first game, the Astros had jumped out to a 4-0 lead early in this game, supporting Yusei Kikuchi, who went 7 innings in this game. The Astros have been undefeated in games that he has started since the Astros acquired him in the trade deadline. The Angels would score 3 to make it close over the course of this game, but Yordan would go yard in the 9th inning to make it 5-3 for a big insurance run for the Astros that they luckily would not need, as Josh Hader would slam the door on this game. This win was also the 5,000th win in franchise history, as the Astros become just the 2nd expansion franchise to reach that mark. Granted, probably just under 20% of those wins have come in the past 10 years or so. So, it's kind of nice that we've been able to be a part of that. Of course, one thing the Astros would certainly have to do better on over the course of their next series is get hits with men in scoring position. They didn't really get much in this over the course of this series. They got none in this game. They went 0 for 9 to be exact, and stranded 11 base runners, which is not really a good thing. But going straight here into Game 2, Justin Verlander had worked very hard to get his first win up since coming off of the injured list. But the Astros outfielders had certainly proved to be the MVPs in this game, with Myers making a diving catch in the first inning that would have otherwise scored a pair of runs for the Angels. Speaking of scoring runs, Altuve would score on a wild pitch in the first inning, so just before this, to get the scoring started, but the Angels would answer in the bottom of the first inning right away. Jake Myers, of course, would rob the Angels of what would have been at least 2 of those runs with his diving catch that I had mentioned about earlier, and then the Angels would eventually take the lead in the 3rd inning, and it would stay that way going here into the top of the 5th inning, with Yordan Alvarez hitting a go-ahead 2-run blast to give the Astros a 3-2 lead, one that they would not relinquish, and then Victor Caratini would add on to that with an RBI single to make it 4-2. Then going here into the bottom of the 8th inning was when things got a little bit interesting. Logan O'Hoppe would get a base hit that looked like was going to score at least 2 runs. Jake Myers was coming in on it, but could not quite make the catch. Taylor Ward was going to score easily, but Nolan Schuenol, who I might be mispronouncing his last name, who was behind him, was tagged out on a throw from Jake Myers to Victor Caratini. Initially, of course, Schmuenol had missed home plate, and also Victor missed the tag, but Victor had tagged him first for the 2nd out of the inning to keep the Astros in front. The Angels had challenged the play, claiming Caratini was blocking home plate, which as a catcher you cannot do, but there was no blockage of home plate, and thus the call of out would stand, and then the Angels would not score for the rest of that inning. Tucker would go yard in the 9th inning off of the bench, hitting a pinch hit home run. That would be his first home run since he came off the injured list last month. And the Astros would go on to win 5-3, the same score as last night's game. Last but certainly not least, Game 3. John Singleton, like I said earlier, was supposed to be in the lineup, but was scratched due to illness, so we'll hope he feels better. Ronel Blanco, in his first start since the beginning of this month, would go 6 innings in this game. He certainly did throw a quality start in this game, go 6 shutout innings at that. And then Caden Dana, who was 20 years old for the Angels, had looked good. He had started in this game, and he looked good for the first 3 innings before eventually the Astros had tagged him for 4 runs in the 4th, 5 in total. The first of which came in the 3rd inning. to get the scoring started, courtesy of a home run by Jason Hayward, one of 3 hits he'd hit in this game. The Angels would eventually make it interesting by scoring 3 times in the bottom of the 9th off of Josh Hader after he had come in for Caleb Ferguson, who had allowed 2 of the first 3 guys to reach, but he would seal the deal and cement the series sweep for the Astros. This was a very good series. I mean, obviously, these wins don't need to be blowout wins. I mean, these still are bad teams, so you still need to be getting wins against them. But like I said, they don't need to be blowout wins. You just need to find a way to get wins against them, and these are perfect wins that you can get. But yeah, the Astros need to go 9-4 over their last 13 games, and that would give us 90 wins and also the division title, seeing that Seattle can only win 89 games at most. The Astros, of course, have a magic number of 9 to clinch the AL West over the Seattle Mariners, who unfortunately kept pace with us for the most part over this weekend, as they had taken 3 out of 4 from the Texas Rangers. So we'll see how the rest of the week breaks out. We do still have one more series against the Mariners next week. So, I mean, currently the Astros, I believe, lead by 4 games over them. If they can keep that lead over them, or at least like ensure worst case scenario we get swept, then they won't be able to catch us as much. So, or, be in first place after that series ends. But the only thing the Astros can do is just keep winning games. I mean, next up for them, they're going to be headed to San Diego to wrap up this California road trip. San Diego is actually a very good baseball team. I mean, San Diego's a good baseball team. I mean, the Padres, of course, they certainly could be making a bid for the playoffs. But at the same time, the Astros have certainly risen to the occasion and playing well against teams that are above 500. So we'll see how that series goes. Hopefully, we can take at least 2 out of 3. A sweep would be nice, but I definitely think a sweep would be asking for too much. I mean, if they can get it, that's great. But, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed it. And if you want to see more of these videos, consider hitting that subscribe button. I'll post more of these every single week until the season ends. And if you want to watch any of my other videos, click these ones here above my shoulders. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed, like I said. And I'll see you guys in the next video.